So the Green Bay Packers select Collin Oliver, defensive lineman slash linebacker from Oklahoma State with the 159th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. And I gotta say, man, as a Packers fan, I really do like this pick. He's a high upside, high ceiling player. I watched this film in 2023 and the 2 games he played in 2024, and I thought this guy was going to be still in this year's draft class. Is a 3-4 outside linebacker, in my opinion, at the next level, and we do run a 4-3 defensive scheme. So I'm really intrigued to see what we do with Collin Oliver in this defense, but I think he's somebody that has a lot of upside. And if he didn't get injured in 2024, was probably going to be a guy that got drafted inside the first 3 to 4 rounds pretty easily. So huge upside and huge ceiling player, or pick in my opinion. Is more of a 3-4 defensive or outside linebacker because he's like 6'2", 6'1", 240, not the biggest dude in the world, and he's more of a speed rusher. That's without a doubt. But he gives us something we don't have in that pass rusher room, which is a speed rusher. Brendan Cox is maybe a speed rusher, I'd say, but everybody else is more of a power rusher. Even Baron Sawyer, who we did just draft right before Collin Oliver, is more of a power rusher in my opinion. So I really do like this pick for the Packers. It gives us somebody that I think could be very versatile. He could play off-ball linebacker if needed, but could just be a pure third down specialist when it comes to pass rushing for this Packers team. So we're going to go on PFF, break down his player profile and everything like that right now. But let me know in the comments right now what you think about this pick, because I'm loving it. So here's Collin Oliver's player profile on PFF. 6'2", 240, 22 years old. Says right here, Oliver is an undersized but very athletic linebacker who moved to an outside linebacker role in 2024. However, he missed all but 2 games due to a foot injury. Oliver is a developmental situational pass rusher at this point. And then in 2024, in only 2 games because he did have the foot injury, he had 2 sacks, 2 quarterback hits, 10 hurries. And in 2023, though, which is where I thought he had his best year in college, he had 7 sacks, 7 hits, and 27 hurries and 3 batted passes. I did watch his film, and I thought this was definitely not a guy that Packers would target, but I thought this was a guy that was going to be a steal if he could be healthy for an NFL team, if drafted later on. And the Green Bay Packers got him. Is undersized, 6'2", 240, but very athletic. Brings some legit juice off the edge, and that's something we really don't have in this Packers pass rush room. Had a 90.8 pass rush grade this year before getting injured, a 67.7 run defense grade, an 85.4 true pass set pass rush grade, a 31.8 pass rush win rate, and a 3.3 run stop rate. So this is a very high upside pick in my opinion. Definitely not something I expected. In my opinion, I didn't expect them to go with a Collin Oliver, but really do like this pick and really like what he brings to this pass rush room for the Green Bay Packers, this edge rush room, and just really intrigued to see how they use him in this defense. So real quick, here are some clips of Collin Oliver, number 30 on your left side right here. And like I said, he's a speed rusher, a little bit more of a speed rusher, 6'2", 240-ish, but this is somebody that I think does get to the outside hip or the outside pocket of a tackle fairly quick, uses his hands pretty well, has experience off ball as a linebacker, has good athleticism. Like, this is somebody you could do a lot of things with on the defensive side of the ball. I'm interested to see what Jeff Hafley cooks up with him. This guy could probably be our third down specialist when it comes to pass rushing. He uses his hands well, has some solid power, and I think if he didn't get injured this year, like I said early in the video, like, he was somebody that I think does get drafted inside the top 3, top 4 rounds in this year's draft class pretty easily based off what he did in 2023, but did get hurt in 2024. So really interested to see what the Packers do with him for this team next year, and I think this is something that could maybe be the third down specialist in terms of like pass rushing for this team next year. So here's Collin Oliver's RES score at 9.74, and isn't the biggest dude, like I said, 6'1", 240, and I thought he was definitely more of a 3-4 outside linebacker at the next level. It wasn't a Packers type guy, but they must have loved his athleticism. He ran a 4.56, had a 2.66 20-yard split, and had a very impressive 10-yard split of a 1.57, and had 24 reps on the bench press. So this is somebody that they must have really liked, and I don't think they drafted him just to be a special teams type of guy. I think this is somebody they definitely believe could be an off-ball linebacker if needed, but could be a third down specialist for this team. So this is the depth chart after selecting Collin Oliver. He's at linebacker behind Isaiah McDuffie and Tyron Hopper. And like I said earlier, worst case scenario, he's just a special teams player. But I really do think the Packers drafted him because they have some plans for him. This is somebody that's really athletic, is a speed rusher, which is something we don't have in our pass rush room. But this is somebody that could play off-ball linebacker for you as well. I'm not comparing him to Micah Parsons, but has that same type of versatility as like a Micah Parsons or something like that, or even a Quay Walker, let's say, for this team. Could play off-ball linebacker or just linebacker for you, but could play some snaps on the edge because he's a speed rusher, and that's what he just naturally kind of feels more like at the next level, just more of a third down specialist or somebody that would have been a 3-4 outside linebacker at the next level. But since he's in a 4-3 defense, I think he's more just a third down specialist at the edge position for this team. So really more intrigued to see what we do with Collin Oliver on this defense next year. Jeff Hafley must have been pretty excited or pretty happy to make this pick, because this is something that gives you a lot of versatility and could be a Swiss Army knife for this defense. So let me know in the comments. What you guys think about this pick. It's been your boy Sports Culture. I'm out.